What is up, Fishaholics? Rich J here, Fishaholic Fishing, and I just got here to my favorite small little pond in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, right here behind me. Beautiful flat calm water, you know, beautiful day out here. It's almost 50 degrees and it's mid-January right now. You know, this weather, it's crazy, right? And just launched the kayak, and I actually took a few casts. I had my waders on, and I took a few casts when I first got here, caught a couple small perch, but no bass. I really want to catch some nice chunky largemouth bass. And micro jigging is a perfect way to catch largemouth bass in the Northeast in the wintertime. So that's how I'm going to try and target some largemouth bass in the kayak. And I'm basically going to be using my fish finder to try and find steep dropping banks where it goes from shallow to deep water really quickly. And that's usually where largemouth bass in the winter like to stage. Let's get in the kayak. Let's find some fish. Little micro jig right there. 4-pound test line on my Berkeley Cherrywood 5'6" ultralight spinning rod with a Quantum Optics 10 spinning reel. Really light tackle setup. This is pretty much all you need to catch. You can catch a 4-pounder on this. It feels like a, giant fish. That's one of my favorite things about micro jigging in the winter is you can catch big fish on really light tackle. Fish on. Doesn't feel like a lunker bass though. Oh yeah, man. Look at the size of this perch right here. Giant perch. I'll take that any day. Even if the bat, why did I say giant? That's not giant. He's like a 11-incher. Oh, he got off. Had something on there. Could have been a small bass or a perch even. I'm casting out into like 15, 18 feet of water, and then I was bringing that jig right along the bottom up to about 12 feet of water where I'm sitting right now. And it's definitely, key to fish small baits in the winter or when the water's cold. That's why this little jig can be so effective because bass aren't that active in the winter. They're not going to be too aggressive to hit, a big Senko or, a bigger size bait. They're going to be more apt to hit something a little bit smaller because it's going to look like an easier target. Ooh, another monster perch. This one's probably smaller than my first one. It's like pike bait right there. Little guy. Oh, and another one. This one I didn't even get inside the mouth. I got him on the outside of the mouth. Little guy. Oh my gosh, I'm ripping them now, these perch. At least I'm catching them on some light tackle, so they're kind of fun. Look at this, I got a perch right here next to the kayak. Come on, buddy, hit it. Oh my gosh. These perch are suicidal today. This little guy didn't even see the kayak. Was just focused on that little tiny jig. This one here feels a little bit bigger actually. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Look at the size of this one, guys, right there. That is a giant, that is a jumbo yellow perch right there. If the bass aren't biting, I could catch those all day long. That's a really nice one. Easily probably just under maybe 13 inches. Nice fish though. Here we go. Finally got my first bass of the day. Probably not even a pounder. The last couple hours I've been nailing the crap out of the perch, but I just couldn't find a bass. And then I just came out here into like, 20 feet of water, and I nailed that, like 8-ounce bass, probably like a half a pound. But I got one on the board. Found another little bass in the same spot in about 20 feet of water. Seems like these guys are chilling out in some deeper water. Another one already, wow. Fish on. If this is another bass, then I'm definitely, figuring out a little bit of a pattern here. Would you look at that? Another largemouth out here in 20 feet of water. Not a monster, but probably like a 12-ounce little largemouth right there. I'm going cast for cast right now. Seems like these bass are sitting out here in 20 feet of water, and then all the perch that I caught, they were in like 10 to 15 feet of water. So maybe I was fishing too shallow this entire time. I'm just letting this jig sink down to the bottom, and on the last 2 casts, bam, the fish was just like on the jig. It's like they're hitting it right on the fall. But this is usually how like winter bassing is. Once you catch one, there he is. Oh, he got off. But once you catch one, usually you find, quite a few of them in an area. There he is, fish on. Woo! Oh, please don't shit on my head. Oh, it's a little bit bigger one. Oh, a little bit bigger one. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Yeah. Woo! Definitely on a little bit of a pattern here. That's probably like a 1.5 pounds right there. Boom! Beautiful fish. He's gonna jump for me. Woo! There he goes. There he is. Got him. Got him. Might be a yellow perch though. Nope. Little itsy bitsy largy right there. Fish on. This definitely feels like a lot heavier fish right here, guys. Oh yeah. Look at that rod bend right there. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's a good one. It's a good one. Really good one. Yeah. Woo! All right, these fish are getting bigger. Caught that guy out of 21 feet of water. Yeah, look at that. Look at that chunk right there. Easy 2-pounder probably, at least. Woo! All right, guys, well, I'm calling it quits, and I was out here for a couple hours today. I've never kayaked this pond before, and for the most part, I was targeting like 10 to like 18 feet of water and catching a ton of yellow perch. And I was catching so many yellow perch, I was actually getting discouraged because I was like, I want to catch some bass. That's like the main reason why I came out here, is to catch some nice, winter largies. And you know, then I was gonna scrap the video, and I actually started working my way back to the launch site, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna catch some perch for dinner, go out in about like 20-25 feet of water, maybe find some like bigger perch. I mean, I caught a couple jumbos today, but nothing really like super big. They were all like 8-10 inches. And I caught like 2 little perch out there in like 20-25 feet of water, and then I caught all bass. Like, yeah, I did not expect that at all, you know, but, you know, thankfully I was able to go out there and kind of establish a little bit of a pattern and get into some nice bass. You know, like the smallest one I probably caught was like 7 inches, 8 inches, and then the biggest one I caught was, you know, like 2, maybe 2 1/4. You know, pounds. So it was a nice bass, and you know, I'm glad I ended the day with that nicer size fish. But yeah, if you guys want to know any more information about tackling equipment, that's always down in the description, so don't forget to check that out. And you know, I strongly recommend, you know, picking yourself up, you know, a little ultralight spinning rod setup like this. This is my Berkley Cherrywood HD ultralight spinning rod, 5 foot 6 inches, with a little Quantum Optics 10 spinning reel, and that has 4-pound test fluorocarbon on it. That's like my favorite setup to fish in the winter for, you know, freshwater fish. But don't forget to subscribe if you like today's video and you want to see more videos like this. And never forget, live to fish, fish to live.